All right, let's take a look at that. So it looks like Tyler made this a first lap hot lap. Usually that can work good in the Xfinity car. Sometimes second lap hot lap is a little bit better, but if you do that, you have to make sure that you're kind of crawling your car a little bit on the first lap, just making sure not to overheat the tires. So anyways, he's running high and getting that late apex to straighten out the wheels as early as possible to get the run coming to the start finish line. It's a little quieter here. And as he's getting to the beginning of this lap, notice where he's letting out of the brake or out of the gas. So I personally would use a little bit of trail brake here, but for hot lap purposes, this full out of the gas coasting is, you can get away with it for hot lapping. So the markings are good though. So we full out to the gas early, gets to the bottom, and then see that early throttle. You see that trace, how he's coming back green on it. That's telling me that he's getting back in the throttle earlier than he's ever has been. And even on hot laps, that's what you want to aim for because the straightaways are long. So again, getting back in that throttle as early as possible. I'm going to back that up to turn 1 real quick, sorry. You just want to prioritize how early you can get back in the throttle here. And personally, I find that a little bit of trail brake helps me get back in the throttle even earlier than Tyler is here. But the ideas are the same, right? You let off before the banking transitions so that you can get back in the throttle, have your car handle as neutral as possible, and it should carry the speed off the corner without hating you too much and being too out of whack. So you can see here, this is going to be a tighter corner entry. I would even use more brake on entry of 3 here. And you notice how the car, you want it to stay on the bottom a little bit longer than 1 and 2. The corner, how Charlotte works, it kind of narrows up the lane, even though turn 4 is a bit of a wider exit than turn 2. Even with that all being said, the groove is almost even narrower. So I like how he holds that throttle so where he can stick it to that blue line throughout the corner. Sliding up towards the wall, you might have to let out of the gas a little bit to stay out of the wall, or you just have to compromise your line. And when you do that, it's definitely not as good as if you can just stick that blue line as far as you can and not even have to worry about hitting the wall off the floor. That tends to be a bit faster. But anyways, we'll talk about race run a little bit. Thank you, Tyler, again for that. And I am working on getting my computer fixed, but I'm also out of town, so it's making it kind of hard right now. So these long run laps here, it's pretty much the same as the hot laps here, except you want to let off even a little bit more. If you are pushing your car, you want to make sure that it's as neutral as possible handling. So Xfinity car is a little bit different than the truck and a little bit different than some of the other cars in that the car can really wear the tire differently to how your style is. So if you like hanging the car out, you'll wear the right rear. If you like keeping that car snug in the corner, you'll wear the right front. So it's not about doing a specific thing, but just making sure that you're keeping yourself disciplined enough to keep the car completely engaged for the whole corner. You don't want any slides, meaning that you don't want the right rear kicking out. You can hear the tire and all that stuff, which you're kind of probably used to me harping on. But then the other thing is you don't want to have your car a push either. You don't want to turn the wheel and have the car do absolutely nothing. You don't want to get on the gas and the car shoots straight up the track. You basically want to have your lane and have your car stick to the lane. So you notice how that right here, notice how the car is sliding up the track a little bit without Tyler really wanting it to. He wanted it to stay a little bit lower, but the car was pushing a little bit on him. So the remedy for that is a little bit more trail brake on entry and a little bit more patient getting back to throttle. But the good thing they did then, actually let me go back and show you the good thing that he did, because this is something I don't talk about too much. When you miss a corner, the worst thing you can do is try to force it back to the right way. So notice how he just let the car slide up naturally. He didn't keep the car pinned down by using extra steering wheel, because if he were to use extra steering wheel to keep the car on the line that he wanted, that's just extra tire wear and you're not really getting much out of it. So if you make a minor miss like that, just roll with it. Just have the car, make sure that it doesn't hit the wall obviously, but just keep the car on the line, don't fight with it, and just take the penalty in time over the penalty on tires. And so here you'll probably see, yeah, so you'll see the car's agreeing with him more on this line right here, and that's perfect. So that's kind of the tale of 2 entries. That's why I always say entry is super important. So that'll become even more important as the run goes along. You might have to enter your corners a little bit differently. See if he sticks it a little bit better here. Yep, see that? It's not fighting with him. And because it's not fighting with him, this corner is not only pretty good on speed, but very good on tires. So just find the line that you can run that you aren't fighting with your car. That should be your number one priority. Speed should not be your number one priority. And that is how you conquer a long run at a place like Charlotte, which could hurt either your right rear or your right front, depending on how you drive the car. But other than that, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope to see you all on the track.